So hey, it's Randy. What I got in the work stand today is this old Schwinn cantilever frame. Judging by the color, I'm going to assume it was a heavy duty. There's also some weld marks here, so I'm also going to assume it came from one of the probably aircraft plants, maybe Boeing. They used to weld in a plate here that would have the department number that the bike belonged to. So I've had this frame built up before, and I'll leave a link to that video down in the description. So first up, let's see what I've got for a fork. So I believe this is the fork I had on there before. It was originally chrome and I painted it yellow, and then I've since repainted it and used it on another project. But I don't think I'm going to go with the straight fork. And I have a few of these curved forks. I think this is the only one I have with a long enough steer tube. So I think we'll go with this. And I'm going to try and paint it to match the frame and the patina. So let's see what we can come up with. Oh, must have been off a Walmart bike where they had to label the rear of the fork. So here's all the different yellows I have to try and match the frame. And then somebody had painted over that frame at some point blue, and I think we'll work in some of this blue. So I'm going to do some more sanding and painting after this is dried a little to try and more match the patina. So while I'm waiting on that to dry, I think I'll I guess see what wheel and tires we want to use. So I have these tires. I've had them for quite a while. They've never been used. 26 by 2.125. I'm thinking about going with these. I don't know if that's going to be too clown-like or a little too over-the-top bright. I don't know. Let's see what we got for wheels. Going through all my wheel sets, I do have this set of rims that are black. And maybe that'll kind of tone things down a little bit, some of the brightness. Let's see, it's a 7-speed mega range. I think it'll fit. I think I've already spread the rear triangle on this before. Oh yeah. Okay, let me get a tire mounted on this and we'll see how it looks. While we're back here, I think I'll go ahead and put a derailleur on. It'll be an axle mount derailleur. Have to see what I have. Okay, Shimano. I've got a Shimano compatible shifter, click shift, index, rapid fire type shifter thing that I'll probably want to use. So I think we need a Shimano derailleur. I like the looks of this one, but I don't know if we'll need a longer cage to clear that big cog on the back. TD1 and Falcon. I'm assuming these are both Shimano compatible. I think we'll go with one of these two. This is Shimano RS and a Shimano Tourney. Let's give this a try. I'm not going to go through all the trouble to disassemble this and clean it. So that I don't plan on this being a long-term bike. So we'll just give it a quick clean here. If you're not familiar with the axle mount derailleurs, this of course slips over the axle. And this bolt and this special nut hold it in place in the dropout. So whenever you have to remove the rear wheel, your derailleur doesn't fall off. It's snug there to the dropout. Now this does take up some space in the dropout. So if you were having maybe clearance issues here and needed the wheel all the way back and use every bit of that dropout, I have slid this farther back and just drilled a hole in the dropout and either bolted or use a self-tapping screw and actually anchor it just right into the dropout. And that'll give you that little bit of extra drop out there to slide the wheel farther back. I think we're going to be okay here though. This needs to be grunged up some more. But I don't know. I may try and tweak that better later, but I just want to get it on there. So last time I built this up, I put in a 3-piece bottom bracket adapter, but I must have, obviously I took the bottom bracket out, so hopefully I have one that fits. I think we need a narrow one. Not sure what size. Well, it fits a 68 millimeter shell. I don't see the length of the spindle though, but let's see if this will work. For crankset. I think we'll go with this, the mix of the silver and the black, and I think the chain ring will be adequate. Well, they look even. Got tons of clearance. And I don't think our chain line is going to be too awful. See if we get lucky with this chain. Nope. So see if I can find a different chain or add a few links to this. Okay, I added a few links. Well, it works, but not very good. The derailleur rubs on the big cog here. Once it's up on there, it's fine. But you know what? So I went to put a stem in the fork and realized that this inside diameter of this nut is smaller than this fork, the steer tube. So I'm gonna have to put a different nut on there so we can get a stem to fit. Well, I've run out of time today, so we'll just save the stem and handlebars for tomorrow, which I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get back on this. So we'll just see you then. Good morning. Back at it. I think we'll start with the stem and handlebars. So I've decided on this handlebar and stem combination, but ideally I'd like these handlebars to be a little bit longer. So I'm gonna chop off a couple sections of what I assume was an old handlebar and weld those on there. I think I'll be happier with that. Well, there they are. I didn't spend too much time smoothing them out. They're going to be under the grip. Gave them a coat of some silver paint just to hopefully prevent rusting. I just realized my front tire's flat. Shoot. Well, since we're working with caliper brakes, I think these are probably our only choices. I think everything else in here is probably for V brakes. Well, this is the only rapid fire type shifter I have, so we'll go with it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get the rear brake and the shifter all cabled up, and I will check in after that. And what I use for a seat post for these old Schwinns is a solid aluminum rod, 13/16. I ordered it online from some metal supply place. Oh, it doesn't want to go. May have to put a saddle on there so we can work it down. Saddles. I think that may be too wide for the riding position. It's not quite as wide. I don't know if I like the color though. Well, I know this one will be comfortable, but I think I'd rather have something a little older looking. I think we'll go with this one. It's a Velo orange leather saddle. And I think it just so happens to have the right size seat clamp there. That'll make things easier. And my microphone died. So here I am going through my different pedal choices. These purple, I did like the purple, but I thought that might be a little too colorful, too over the top. So I ended up going with these black pedals, even though I'm not real keen on these. They just don't have much grip. Speaking of grip, got these Ori grips and these kind of old BMX cushy grips. And then these funky shaped black grips, which I end up going with just because they're kind of unique. I doubt they're very comfortable. But then I found these purple Ori grips. Change in plans. I think I am going to go with these grips. And I think I'm going to paint these pedals a darker purple to closer match these grips. Oh, there's hardly any paint in here, and this is all I've got, so wish me luck. So these grips and these bar end plugs, which I made out of a doorknob or a drawer knob, they come off my stump jumper, which I tore down not too long ago. Well, I think that's everything, and it's ready to ride. I'm going to save that, though, for another video and just end this video here. So as always, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next video.